Hi, I'm Adina Imani. I'm going to talk about Spotify and the rise of AI and AI artists. So let's just start off with a friend that's too woke take. I believe that AI and its inception is womb envy. From our greatest cultural works to the creation myths that we've been indoctrinated with since birth. I believe that men are so jealous of women's ability to create and sustain life that they have gone out of their way to develop things like AI and this technological revolution and late stage capitalism that is going to destroy our environment and most likely humanity at large. So, yeah, let's just get that out of the way. Not an AI artist, but I want to start this off by talking about Little Miquela. I don't know if you guys know who she is, but it was a CGI influencer and model that I remember seeing probably in the late 2010s. They market her as Brazilian American. She is forever 22. She loves to go out and have fun and goes to all these red carpet events. And I just thought it was interesting that instead of platforming a actual Latina or woman of color, that they made one. At the end of the day, Lil Miquela was any tech bros, modeling agents, wet dream. She was a woman that could not age, a model that could not get pregnant, a model that could not gain weight, a model that would not have a bad skin day or a breakout or a bad hair day. It was all programmed. They made her Brazilian, so it's like, oh, Latina. She's a robot of color, a person of color, but the skin was still white. It's still pleasing to these brands and these corporations that don't want real people of color to wear their clothes a lot of the time. It was just a very, very weird time, and I don't know why we let this go so quick. Miquela also was apolitical. Besides some BLM posts in mid 2020, after a lot of brands determined that it was safe to kind of post about the Black Lives Matter movement, there have been nothing on those socials surrounding anything that will revolve around women's rights, around actual Latin American people within the United States, anything about the elections or the ICE raids, nothing. It's the non-cancelable influencer. However, she did get canceled because for some reason the men who program her decided to make her experience a sexual assault by like a rideshare driver. And that's when real breathing women were like, wait, hold up. This is getting spooky yuki. Y'all are weird for this. Even in your fantasies, women are still being harmed. That's weird. That's weird. And no one's going to say that it's weird. But since then, the posting has slowed down. The only people that are in the comments, so far as I've checked, are other robot influencers, now AI influencers, more so than the CGI ones. It's been a very bizarre time, but I think that kind of kicked it off. Lil Miquela made music from between like 2017 and 2022. Is his music good? I'm not clicking that. But I also thought, wow, a music industry exec's wet dream. A woman, once again, who cannot age, who cannot get pregnant, who cannot have a scandal, who cannot give a bad vocal performance or miss a step in the choreography because she's not real. And I think we have to also just think about like why so many men are obsessed with the idea of women who can't age and can't think. I feel like this really brought weight to the AI influencer, the AI quote unquote artist or AI singer, performer, what have you. And just to think that there's not really that many male AI artists. Most of them are women. And I do think it has to deal with womb envy again, men's want to create and sustain life, particularly life that they can control for essentially ever. There are a few, as I've seen, like AI country and AI rap boys. But however, I think that's even a little bit too on the nose. I think about how even the rise of like a Drake or a Kanye West and the backpack era movement altogether was, we obviously have this guy, he's a poet, he's really good at music, but he's not involved in what we would consider the quintessential rap scandals, controversies, right? And so you kind of have this and you can platform them and think that, oh, they're not going to be getting into the troubles that we've seen their rap predecessors get into before. Obviously, both those men are two different categories now. But I think when we have these AI male artists, it is to sidestep a lot of the controversies and what the music industry would call criminalities for rap artists. And maybe that's a totally other video. Maybe I'll do one on backpack rap. I'm not sure yet. But for the most part, the artists are women. It's thievery, it's theft. So Kehlani and Victoria Monet have both spoken out about Zania Monet. Why choose the name Monet? I don't know. Zania's creator, Nikki, is saying that she's writing all of the songs, she's doing all of the lyrics, but she's putting it into an AI platform that is making it into like a full song with a melody and a backbeat. And interestingly enough, this creation has signed a $3 million record deal with Hollywood Media. Let's take a minute. I am an independent musician. I make music for a living. I songwrite, I sing. I know real people within my community who are signed to Hollywood who can't get $50K for a deal, and they gave $3 million to the robot. I think we're going to have to determine how we even view these labels and these institutions that are constantly disrespecting human art and human brain power. And I really feel like in, I want to say 5 years, Hollywood's going to regret that real bad. The music producer Timbaland has also aligned himself with AI artists. He has an AI artist called Tata. Side note, I really want to know what Timbaland did. I just know he did something. I know it's bad. I feel like all of his contemporaries are thriving in one way or another. Like Missy Elliott, I feel, just went on a tour, last year. She's working with Flo. She's working with like up and coming artists. Pharrell seems to be thriving, has aligned himself with like fashion houses and is still heavily involved in major pop music acts today. That's not so much what's going on with Timbaland. And I think, like, why couldn't you just call Beyonce up, call somebody up? He can't do that. He was charging people $80 to be on his Instagram, where he would review a song of their choosing. And then he came out with an AI artist. So it seems to be some sort of, I don't know, midlife crisis / creative breakdown, mental break. I'm not sure. But what I do know is that something is wrong. There were rumors that he was training the AI on people's submissions. I don't know that to be true or not. However, there is a woman who is saying that these are her songs, this is her voice, and these are her melodies. So hopefully she can get a lawyer and figure that out. I just had to throw that in there. I also want to talk about Spotify. We've readjusted. I'm going to get a little chair, I think, if I'm going to keep doing these. Spotify is absolutely flooded with AI artists. It's to the point now where if you are an independent musician and you are wondering why your songs are not being picked up by Spotify algorithmic playlists or Spotify radio, it is because there are hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of AI artists on that platform completely crowding you out, period. I have found so many, all kind of leading back to the same key figures. Usually all of them are white men with fake Korean artists, fake K-pop groups, fake Native American groups, so much digital blackface going on that you just would not believe. And they all kind of all go back to the same middle-aged white tech bro who is like, yeah, if I make 50 of these and just crowd the platform, then I'll get a return on investment. Spotify rewards frequent uploads. So if you are a real artist, I remember being in like independent artist scenes a few years back and people being like, okay, yeah, our release schedule, we have a bunch of songs stacked up. We're going to do one every 3 weeks. And from then on, it really helps us in the algorithm. So if you're not making the music, if you're not actually pouring your heart and soul and your creativity into it, and you're just having something like Suno do it for you, then yeah, you have 5 albums in an hour. And then what you do is you upload them one after the other. And Spotify says, oh my God, this is our frequent uploader. We should reward them by putting them in the algorithm. We should reward them by putting them on Spotify radio. And even in our editorial playlist if they're using the pitch mechanism. So while this is unsustainable for human beings who want to make art and put time and intention into their art, when you use something like AI, it kind of defeats the purpose of it being art. It's not art, period. But I'm just saying, like, the only goal is money. The only goal is money. I feel also like this was probably my best streaming year across all platforms, but I just was not excited this year to post a Spotify Wrapped. It's just kind of dwindled down. And as there's more AI artists on that platform than probably real artists at this point, it just seems, like my music is going to touch the people that it touches. Not to downplay myself. I definitely believe that I'm extremely talented. I would love if, the masses would hear my work and appreciate what I do. However, if my competition is the robot, is the white man who made a robot that looks like a black woman, then what's... it kind of just makes you, okay, if this is a platform for AI music, let it be the platform for AI music, Maybe there's other alternatives that are going to be more human centric. And I think this is not so doom and gloom because iHeartRadio has already announced that it will not be playing any AI artists on any of its radio stations. Everyone is kind of talking about Banano Pro, the Google product, which creates hyper realistic photos and hyper realistic photos. What I've seen it being used for already is people having experiences. Here's me at a beautiful restaurant that I could not afford otherwise. Here's me at the Louvre, Paris, because you can't go to Paris, you're in your childhood bedroom or whatever. And so I believe the bubble is bursting. AI as the great common denominator just puts the common denominator at loser. If you AI yourself at the Louvre, oh my God, look at me on my Parisian vacation, you're a fucking loser. You're not cool. And so I think when we have these innovations, there's only so much more we can go forward. The bubble is bursting. There's going to be more guardrails. There's going to be more regulation, especially as it begins to affect the people in power. We have the White House and White House officials posting AI photos of themselves at Thanksgiving dinner. And so what happens when your political opponent posts something of you that's not so favorable? It's going to get, if not outlawed, heavily guardrailed and heavily regulated. The producer group Haven, who had a viral moment with the song I Run, they're getting sued. Back to the digital blackface, they're being sued by Georgia Smith because she was like, this voice sounds like me. And they were using her to promote the record, hashtagging all of the TikToks Georgia Smith. And she's like, I'm not involved in this. So using her name, likeness to promote a song that she's not a part of, that you made training an AI model to sing like her. And I'm going to talk about Daniel Ek. So Daniel Ek was, I guess technically still is the CEO of Spotify at this moment. He's saying he's going to step down, but he's stepping down to be the chairperson. He's still going to be heavily involved with the organization. He is also a chairperson of Helsing, which is a weapons manufacturing company responsible for drones and AI technology that surveils people. And it just seems more and more like something that you don't want to support or give your monthly subscription to. I feel like a lot of people that I know that are in my creative circle are cutting the cord to Spotify. The company also came under fire when it said that its ICE recruitment ads didn't violate any of the terms of service and they'd still be allowed to be on the platform. People are kind of bringing up good points. Okay, Bad Bunny was your top artist of the year on Spotify, but Bad Bunny wants nothing to do with ICE. Do you know? It's just so strange. It's just so strange that this is something that we put our money behind every month, like progressives, liberals. And of course, there is a transparency that I think might be happening for the first time in recent history, where we know exactly what these companies are investing in, and we can reach out via a stakeholder and say why is this happening? And these CEOs just don't care. They don't give a fuck. It's all about money. It's all about a bottom line. And so back to Spotify Wrapped, I had, again, the best streaming year in my short career. I made so much music that I am so proud of. I've grown so much as an artist. I've grown so much as a vocalist. And while it's usually so fun to post and like reflect on my growth, I'm just like, how many times have I waited this past year with bated breath after putting out a song? Is it going to be put on the editorial playlist? Oh my gosh, please, 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 please. For nothing. Like, these corporations don't care about us. And it's because, and they're literally going to be the downfall of the artists that they claim they love so much. Also, at 0.4 cents per stream, they're stealing from us at this point. And they're giving all of the money to the biggest artists in the pool, which is like Drake and Taylor Swift, who don't need anybody else's money, to be honest. Like, if Drake is your top artist, if Taylor's your top artist, that makes more sense rather than you listen to all indie rock or all underground hip hop and your subscription money still goes to the biggest artist on the platform that you do not fuck with at all. So I just thought to myself, how much am I going to do free promotion for a organization that steals from me, ignores me, and is actively harming my community and people that I care about? Honestly. So let's be solution based. What can we do? If you don't know Tim Cook and if you don't know Jay-Z, they have two other platforms that people are switching to. I've heard some interesting stuff about Qobuz. I'm not even sure how to pronounce it, but I'm going to do my research. And I don't know if my music is on there, but I'm going to make sure that I can like put it on there in some way, shape, or form, because I want people who are trying to be as ethical and equitable for artists to be able to stream me there, because that seems like the app that's doing that, right? All right. And I thought like it would be cool if I canceled my Spotify membership on camera. So let's do it together. Okay. Or I'm like, I don't know how to do this, y'all. Oh, I have to do it in I think I gotta do it on the computer. So let's do it on the computer. Cancel subscription. And we're good. My subscription will be canceled at the end of the month. To help us improve Spotify, please take a minute to tell us why you canceled. I low-key want to write fuck ICE Free Palestine. They don't have that on here. Found another. I'm switching to a different Spotify solution. I have issues with my plan. How likely are you to subscribe to Spotify again in the near future? I'm extremely unlikely. I wonder if I can write fuck ICE Free Palestine. Submit. You've canceled your subscription. It's hard to say goodbye, but it's easy to rejoin. Fuck you. Okay, so we're done. I'm probably just going to transfer all my music to Apple or see what Tidal's talking about. But I have like a month to decide, so I'm not really that worried. But hopefully this inspires you to do the same. Obviously, like, change is a little bit hard, and I'm like, damn, I really liked the Spotify UX. It just like looks good, but you know what? A lot of good looking things are really, really bad for you. Maybe this is your sign to do the same thing. I don't know. If you like to hear young women yap, maybe you subscribe. I don't know what this is. I make music, guys, and I just have a lot of thoughts and feelings. So I'm going to be doing this as an outlet. And if you want to stream an artist who is like a real breathing person, real breathing woman, you can check my stuff out. It's under Naima, Nahima. Kind of an alternative soul, organic soul type vibe. If you like little jazz pop, if you like little R&B, maybe give it a listen. And I hope that you have a beautiful day. It's not over. Come see me, come see me, see me. Pretty words don't woo me like they used to, but I listen.